The first ever camera I bought for my YouTube channel was a GoPro. At least I'm 95% sure it was a GoPro. Now, this is the GoPro Hero 10. I've seen some reviews about GoPros. A lot of them are very, very tech heavy. This is not going to be very, very tech heavy at all. I've had this camera for about 3 years or 2 years, something like that. And I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion and review of using this camera. If you wanna know all the specs and stuff like that, this is not the video for that, okay? Just search that up. I don't know. This is just my own personal review of how I like the camera and things I maybe didn't like about it. But I have unfortunately left this on for too long, so now I can't unscrew the tripod, but it's my own fault. That has nothing to do with the camera. So I haven't really been using it for the past 6 months because of this. So first things first, we'll go through the things that I do like about the camera. Also, there is more likes than dislikes. So my first like is that this camera is very sturdy. Now, I don't have a protective case for it. You probably should buy one. That's one thing I probably regret not doing. I would probably buy a protective case because it does get scratched up, but I have dropped it. I have gone diving in the ocean with it, and I've had no issues whatsoever. That being said, I do know some people have had an issue where the side of it, let me show you what I mean. So I know some people have had an issue where this opens up and obviously you can't get that bit in there wet because that's where the battery and the internal part of the camera is. So it's how you close it is it's pushed and then you push that bit in down the bottom. So I have heard that some people have had issues. I need to turn my viewfinder around because I keep staring at myself. Anyways, I've heard that some people have had an issue where it's opened up and broken their whole camera. So although this has been super, super sturdy for me, if you are to make the investment, I would recommend getting an actual protective case. With that being said, I've had zero issues and I've been using it for years. Hiking, swimming. I haven't done deep water diving or anything like that with it. It's just normal ocean swimming. Moving on, I find it very user-friendly. Now, as I said, it's one of the first cameras I ever got. It's pretty much just a point and shoot moment. It's not difficult to set up. It's not difficult to navigate. There's no buttons really. If you look at it, there is the on and off button. So there's a button on the side here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a button on the side here. That's literally how you turn the camera on and off and how you change modes. This one has 3 modes. It's time lapse, normal, recording, and then just taking photos. And then this is just the shutter button. So it's super duper simple. It's touch screen, has a little screen on the front so you can see it, but I would talk a bit more about that in the dislikes. But it's very user-friendly. There's not a whole lot going on. I look ridiculous right now. The next thing I like about it is it's just so small and compact. This camera is tiny. I can fit it in my pocket. Of course, with the additions, with this tripod, for instance, it definitely makes it a little bit bigger. But overall, the camera's tiny. It's so easy to pack. It's also easy to hide in things and stuff like that. Just carrying around a big camera just makes me a little bit nervous. So having a small little compact one, I love. And it's definitely a highlight of this camera for me. I need to take my hoodie off. I am sweating. Another thing I like about this camera is there are so many accessory options. Now, I barely have any accessories for it, to be honest. I think I got an extra battery because the battery life we'll talk about later. I have the tripod and that's pretty much it. But you can get all sorts of additions to it, which I think is really, really cool because there are some other cameras out there which don't have brand specific additions you can add to the camera or accessories you can add to the camera, but GoPro obviously are just so heavily into that. So I think that is a really big pro with a camera like this. You can just get all sorts of accessories to basically make the camera do whatever you want it to do, within reason, of course. Another thing with the GoPro is there is a GoPro app. I know quite a few camera brands do this now, but you can literally connect it to your phone and you can just transfer stuff from the camera to your phone. Makes it super easy. The type of content I was filming, it was a lot bigger files, so I didn't usually do it like that, but that is a really good option if you're filming stuff and you just want it quickly on your phone. The app's super easy to set up and the camera is just really, as I said, user-friendly, so it's really easy just to transfer stuff over. And the last thing I really like about this camera is it is super affordable in comparison to other cameras. For what this camera offers you, which is it's waterproof, it's relatively sturdy, you can get so many different accessories for it. I think it's worth the price point that it's at when it's on sale. I don't know the full price. I know I got mine on sale. I don't remember how much it was now, but I would say considering the other cameras I've bought that are almost double the price, I would say GoPros are very, very affordable. Now, moving on to things that maybe I don't like so much about the camera. First thing that I do not like is the battery life sucks. That being said though, every review I've watched about pretty much every camera ever have said that the battery life is awful. So I kind of just think it's just a camera thing rather than a brand specific thing. Because like every camera I own, pretty much the battery is trash. Like the battery on this camera I'm filming on now, which like the Sony something, I can't remember what it's called. The battery life absolutely sucks on it. Like it's literally gonna die soon at the moment. So that's definitely something that probably isn't the greatest about the GoPro. That's why I have two batteries, because it drains battery super quickly, but I also do film on the highest setting of that camera. So that probably, you know, doesn't help. Battery life sucks, so just keep that in mind. Another thing about the GoPro is the mic is quite terrible. I don't know if you can add mics to it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can. The standalone mic that comes with the GoPro 10 sucks. I use it, like for my first couple months of videos, I only used a GoPro. So all that audio was coming from the GoPro, but it will randomly like drop out, or like it'll pick up sounds behind you and then not really pick up your voice. So editing audio used to take me really, really long on my older videos because of the GoPro, or if you knock it a little bit, then the sound will go off for like 10-15 seconds. That is something that does suck a lot with the camera, but again, the camera's not really designed to use it how I used it when I first started, because I just used it as a day-to-day vlogging camera, when it's not really that. It's kind of like an adventure camera, if that makes sense. Now, as I did say, as a positive is there are a lot of accessories. I would say a negative is that the accessories are really, really expensive. So because when you get the camera, right, like you're just getting this. Okay, as I said, it's affordable, it's a good camera, but you need accessories. Like you need mounts and you need a tripod, and I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't have a screw-in bottom like other cameras do. So you can't just use a normal tripod. You pretty much have to get like a GoPro tripod, which is quite expensive. So that's definitely not my favorite thing. Even like protective cases and stuff, I don't know how much they are because I didn't buy one, but I can imagine they're probably quite expensive. So essentially it's like an affordable camera, but then once you buy all the add-ons, it can definitely add up quite quickly. Now, another downside is the small screen out the front. Now it is helpful, it is. It's just not as helpful as I was expecting it to be. Now maybe this is just a personal issue, but I was fully expecting, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to figure out how you're framing the shot when only looking at that small little square, which is obviously a given. It's just something that bothered me a little bit more than I thought it would. So just keep that in mind. Again, it's not a deal breaker. It's honestly not that big of a deal, but it is something to keep in mind, that it can be a little bit frustrating to work with. But of course you can always just flip around and check the back screen. But when you're trying to film like this, you can't really see in this small screen what's in the shot. And just another tip with this camera, this is not a negative review of it in any way. This is a personal issue, is make sure that after you've gone into the ocean or like salt water, that you clean it really well and that you immediately take off the GoPro like tripod or mount, because I didn't do that and now I cannot get this off because it's rusted. So just keep that in mind. Again, not anything to do with the camera, that is just me being an idiot. So yeah, but overall I absolutely use that camera to death. I loved it so much. For the price point, I would highly, highly recommend it. Now battery life, again, as I said, big negative with a camera like this, but at the same time, so many cameras I bought have that exact same issue, just as the battery cannot keep up. But it's also because at the same time, I do always film in 4K. So that's also a main reason why my battery runs out so quickly. And I would say, don't let a bad battery life deter you from buying something like this. I mean, you can always just buy more batteries. I have 2 batteries. I mean, it helped a little bit. I would also recommend maybe buying like a battery charger, because I know you can get GoPro battery chargers, because to charge the batteries in the GoPro, you literally just plug it in here with the battery inside. It's not like you can charge the battery separately unless you buy the addition of the battery, like the separate battery charger. I don't even know if that made any sense, but that is a little bit annoying if you're trying to charge multiple batteries at once. I haven't used any other cameras like GoPro before, so I can't really compare it to any other adventure style cameras, but I would highly recommend it. I've used it for months. I mean, I've still used it up until recently. It's really great for when I'm by the pool and stuff like that, because I'm not about to take my $1,200 camera next to the pool that is not waterproof. So this has seen many things, this dear camera, and honestly, I would recommend. Would I recommend it for day-to-day vlogging? No. But would it do the trick? Absolutely. Just, you know, bear in mind that you're going to be doing a lot of audio fixing. One more thing I did forget to add just before I end the video is it does overheat, definitely, somewhat frequently. A lot of cameras do that. And the main issue I would have with it overheating is if I'm like at the beach and it's been recording for like 10-15 minutes, which is fair because anything would overheat. Even your phone would overheat doing that. So that's not necessarily a bad thing about that camera specifically. It is just something else to keep in mind. But pretty much any camera you buy will do that because it is to save the camera from overheating and just breaking. So it's good that it has a limit of being like, it's too hot, but definitely keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna shut up now, but I actually did buy this camera today, which is a Canon PowerShot V10. Now, I only bought it today, so I'm not gonna do any sort of review on it in this video, but my next video will be me having a nice review of this new camera because I have issues and I just like buying way too many cameras for no reason. But thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you on my next video. Bye!